welcome to conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda and we're here today with another episode of Curves Bootcamp. Now today we're going to cover Inset Circles. And we've covered this before on our channel, so we're going to put the show notes, we're going to put the links to those other videos there as well. So you can take another look or a couple of other looks at some older videos we've done. But first I want to introduce you to Shannon from Moodygirl Creates. Her channel has lots of fun and interesting things on there, and she's always doing something really cute. So go check her out, tell her that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you, and we'll start looking at what else we're doing here today. But I forgot. We're going to, the Facebook group has started using the room feature of the Facebook group. So if you're interested in an impromptu sew date, you join the room, you tell your friends or chat on the chat that you're in the room, and it'll bring other people there, and you can have an impromptu sew date, and this way you get to actually know the people in the group, and you all have something in common. We've been doing this for about a month, maybe 3 weeks, a month. We're still learning, so be patient with us because we're still trying to figure out how the Facebook room works. But it's been a lot of fun, and it's been wonderful experience for all of us to be sewing with people from all around the world. Now, come on in, let's get to the sewing. Okay, as you can see, as you can see, you can see this. I've already cut my 10-inch circle here, right? A 10-inch circle with my easy circle cutter. I don't know if you can see the name. Anyways, I use this template a lot for cutting circles, and it's the only circle ruler I've really got here, right? So we've already cut a 10-inch circle, and we've cut a 9-inch circle. Now this 9-inch circle, basically when you're insetting circles, your circle is 1 inch larger than your hole, right? And that sounds weird and that it's not going to work, but it does. It works every time. Now what I have also done is I have pressed in like registration marks. Now those registration marks sometimes are really hard to see, and I've pressed them in every 1/8, right? So now I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to make a little 1/8 clip, just like that, with my Teflon scissors so I can see where my marks are. So I will just make sure that you can see that there, right? That little clip, that little right there. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to finish clipping this. And this gives me where my registration marks as to where to aim. And I'm just going down 1/8. And like I say, we've done this before, and this has been kind of a standard. Like when I first was taught how to do inset circles, it was the 4 registration marks and that was it. And sometimes I made it, sometimes I didn't, and I was always, oh dear, I didn't make it again, and it was kind of not satisfying. And here, just let me line this all back up and fold this over and just get in here, and you only want to do 1/8, right? So you get that little mark. You see that little mark? Oh, my scissors in the way. You see that little mark there where it opens? You see that little, okay. So now, it doesn't really matter which side you put down and which side you put up. Let me get this all cleared off here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So when you open this up, like I've used a batik, and I've used a regular cotton. So it doesn't matter if you start with the circle on top, or the circle underneath, or however you decide you're going to do this, or whatever makes more sense to you. It doesn't matter, right? So what I have done, what I'm going to do, is I'm going to push all of this out of the way and line up, make sure my registration lines up, my registration marks line up on my fabric, because that will reduce the chance of puckering. So I've got them both lined up, and no, I don't even use a pin. So now I put it down, and I find my foot pedal because it's gone wandering, and and I'm just going to put in a little back stitch because that's where you need to reinforce, because it's only a 1/8 inch seam, right? Now what you're going to do is you're going to just gently go through, and these are big circles, so they're not hard to maneuver. You should have a lot of fabric though, right? And now here's the next registration line here. So I have to get that lined up, and so right there. Oh, where did nope, I got it. And now I want to make sure I backtrack over that just a bit. And now I want to move this and maneuver it. And you kind of get the idea as to where this is just by, but take your time. And you kind of feel it with your hands too, right? You know. So where's my next registration mark? Because we're coming up on that. So I'm looking for the little thing here. I gotta get a better camera here that we can show you that little registration nick right there, and this one here. So we want to line those two up. We want to make sure that those two are coming together and good. There we go. And back stitch just under that because it's only a 1/8 inch seam. Now we're just going to go through and get to the next mark. You're only worrying about sewing, and you're only worried about sewing like just 1/8 of the circle at a time, right? Because you don't think about, okay, what's next, right? You're only worrying about getting this mark to this mark. That's it. That's all you're worrying about. So now we're going to take this and lie it flat. And you can see how your hands kind of figure out how to do this. The more of these that you do, the better you get. That's the other thing. There we go. And we're halfway already. So that's not taking too long. And it doesn't matter which direction you put up, like which one you put up first. It really doesn't. They're all gonna come together, and okay. Now, one thing I'm going to suggest to you is you put all the fabric on this side. Sometimes it's really tempting to put some fabric here. Well, you can't finish your circle, right? So anyway, so I'm looking at my registration marks. I see them this way. And yeah. This is so much nicer than having them marked into 8ths. Is so much nicer than having them marked into 4ths. I just find this method just a little bit easier to do an inset circle. Okay, now I'm just going to take a little bit of time to get this all lying flat where I need it. Yes, it's perfect. There we go. Back and forth. Now, the other thing, I'm just going to line this up. Take a little bit of time because now you're right at the end. Now, and you notice I haven't used any pins. But you're going to want that first part of your boot, right, like on your foot, you want that to be where you start sewing your 1/4 inch, right, because everything else will follow, and this just flows under nicely. And there he is. There it is. It's going to be right there. And now we have our big ta-da moment. So here's our inset circle. Now I didn't put it on center. I decided, well, I could make this into an oversized art block. I could play around with this and put, like some, strange like zebras or whatever, wandering through underneath, or Could be a green moon, who knows? I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this block yet, and I haven't decided what size I'm going to keep this block at. So this is where we're at. This is an inset circle. Very simple to do. Very simple, especially when you have 8 registration points instead of the traditional 4. It gives you a little more, okay, I only have to worry about sewing that much. Then I sew the next that much, right? So it takes a big piece, you know, it gives you a little bit more, you know, ability that, well, I know I can sew this far, right? You know, so it's not like you're going all the way around. You're just only doing this that much at a time. So anyways, I hope you have a fabulous week ahead and that everything goes well in your life and, you know, you stay well and healthy and get a chance to do some sewing today. Okay, you take care. Bye! My husband and I would love to thank you for coming along with us on our little fun adventure here that we're having. We do have a Facebook group now, and that Facebook group is got some very, very talented quilters in there, and we love sharing and you know, posting pictures and commenting, and it's been a lot of fun. And the advantage of the Facebook group is sometimes I drop patterns in there early, so you kind of get a hint as to what is coming next. After the nosegay sew along, we're going to be doing Curves Bootcamp right away. So we'll get you sewing those curves, and it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of interesting little blocks that we've got to work on. But we would like you to share, like, and subscribe. Telling your friends about us and letting them know that you kind of like our channel, that means so much to us here. So you take care. You have a fabulous week ahead. Okay, bye!